Madras High Court verdict on the EPS versus OPS tussle today. Now remember, OPS had said that the AIADMK General Council meet on July 11th was illegal, and it does appear at the moment that EPS's appointment as interim General Secretary has been declared as void by the Madras High Court. So this is a big leg up for OPS for now, and it is a setback for EPS. This is the latest development that we are tracking. The Madras High Court has ordered a status quo as it was on the 23rd of June. The appointment of EPS as interim General Secretary on July 11th has been declared void. OPS and EPS, remember, ought to jointly convene General Council if a third of members seek. This is what the court has said today. Both EPS and OPS can approach the court for a commissioner to conduct the General Council. The council had expelled OPS and his supporters on the 11th of July. The OPS argued that the July meet was illegal and the Madras High Court had permitted the meet. Earlier, AIADMK had joint leadership, remember, between the two leaders. So at the moment, it does appear that this is advantage OPS and a setback to EPS in the Madras High Court. Let's go right across to Sam Daniel joining us with the very latest. Sam, what happened in court?
Well, Rishika, three important points. While OPS, the petitioner in this case, had demanded the conduct of the General Council on the 11th of July to be declared illegal, the court has ordered status quo as things stood on the 23rd of June when the first General Council meeting took place. And this will essentially mean that technically the dual leadership under OPS and EPS would continue. Secondly, the appointment of Mr. EPS as the interim General Secretary has been put on void or hold and declared void. And thirdly, if a third of the members of AIADMK General Council want the meeting to be convened, then these two leaders ought to jointly convene the meeting, EPS and OPS. So technically, at the moment, it's advantage EPS and it's a huge setback for advantage OPS and a huge setback for EPS. And now they have to, at least till the next General Council meeting is convened, they ought to work together. They ought to jointly convene the General Council meeting. The main argument of Mr. OPS was that this particular General Council meeting on the 11th of July, in which he was expelled and Mr. EPS was elevated as the General Secretary, interim General Secretary, was not convened jointly by these two leaders, which is a technical requirement according to the bylaws of the party. And on this ground, it's advantage OPS. And giving a little backdrop, originally Mr. OPS was handpicked by Ms. Jayalalitha, the former Chief Minister and the late leader of the AIADMK. Twice she made him the Chief Minister when she had to step down after convictions in court. But after she died, although he was made the Chief Minister for the third time, her friend Sasikala, who took over the reins of the party, sacked him and made EPS the Chief Minister before she went to jail after her conviction in the disproportionate assets case. After some time, for 4 years, EPS was the Chief Minister. At that time, these two leaders patched up, they expelled Sasikala, and now after 4 years after the party suffered 3 consecutive poll defeats, EPS had sacked OPS. It was this decision which was challenged, and we'll have to wait and see how these two leaders would now work together and what will the newly convened General Council decide. OPS has been arguing that this particular meet was illegal. Now they have to convene this as per the bylaws jointly if there was a demand from a third of the members of the General Council. So things stand as it stood on the 23rd of June when we had the dual leadership model, and it's interesting, a huge setback for EPS and a shot in the arm for Mr. O. Palaniswami, who we hear could be actually going towards the memorial, the Jayalalitha Memorial, to pay his respect there following this important development at the Madras High Court.